Hey guys, so today I'm here to give you a little bit of what I consider to be a special video. It is special to me. So before we jump into things, I just want to say that everything that I say in this video, it's my personal opinion, my personal thoughts, my personal beliefs, and my values, and I do not bring this video intending to offend anyone. It's just that I get a lot of questions all the time now from younger women and also women that seem to be around the same age as myself that are asking me like things, you know, advice on certain things, my thoughts on certain things. So I thought it would be the most beneficial to make a big video that everyone can see, and even those that have not reached out, you may find it helpful if it's something that you're wondering about. So anyways, we're just going to jump right into it, and these are some of the things that I feel helped me to get the perfect husband. By no means am I insinuating that my husband is perfect, and neither am I. I do not feel that there is a perfect person, period. I do believe that there can be a perfect person for you, and I love to believe that that's what my husband and I have found. So I'm happy to share my thoughts and what I feel like helped me to get to this point. I am not here to offend anyone or shame anyone or bash anyone that has differing values and opinions than myself. I am bringing this video with the sweetest of intention. I'm just gonna jump right into it. So the first thing that you need to do is make sure that you love yourself. I cannot stress that enough. Before I was able to love my husband, I had to be able to love myself, and I think that's so important. You know, you need to be able to be content with just you. You need to be able to be fine with being alone. You need to be able to just be happy and knowing this is who I am. And you need to also, I took the time when I was single to kind of really learn like who I was, what I liked, what I didn't like, things that interest me, you know. So I feel like now that I'm with my husband, since I learned to love myself in that time, in that time that I was alone, I know exactly what I'm looking for in a man, if that makes sense. So love yourself first, so that when it's time for someone else to love you, you know exactly what you deserve, you know exactly what you want, you know exactly what you're not going to stand for. If you have not learned how to love yourself, I feel like that puts you in more of a vulnerable position, because the first person that's throwing love at you, you may not necessarily know what it is, and you just feel it, and it could be anything besides love. So love yourself first. The next thing I would recommend is respecting yourself. So demand respect if you have to, no matter what. Always respect yourself. Never let a guy push you into doing something that you don't want to do. I did not do that. I was very upfront with my husband on, you know, things that I would and would not stand for, things that I expected, and he really like appreciated that, because, you know, I feel like strong women, some guys can be intimidated by it, or it can be intimidating to consider yourself a strong, independent woman. But it's also, there's something about it that like some men like. They're like, oh, this is a woman who knows what she wants. She's just gonna tell it to me, you know, straight. And, you know, it's attractive. So it's very important to respect yourself, I feel like, because again, just like with loving yourself, if you respect yourself, you know what you will and won't take, you know what you should and shouldn't do. You just have like a certain air about yourself, and you won't just stand for anybody like treating you any kind of way or disrespecting you. You know, stand up for yourself. It is not that important to have, you know, a guy if he's treating you badly. So that was the next thing. I made sure I respected myself. Protect your virtue, and this is one of the ones that is the most special to me personally. Protect your virtue. Make him wait. You are worth it. I understand that not everyone shares, you know, this value, and that's okay. I'm not here to bash anyone. But if you do, and you find yourself in a position where you're like, man, I'm waiting, don't stop waiting. Because the perfect guy for you is out there, and it's worth it. It is so worth the wait. My husband waited 7 years for me. That is super symbolic to us in our relationship, and I just feel like when you wait, you know, you open yourself up to finding other ways to connect with one another. And I feel like my husband and I, we kind of built our relationship from the inside out. So, you know, we got to know each other on an emotional level. We can joke around. We can talk about serious stuff. Like, there's tons of things that I love about my husband, aside from just the physical aspects of him. And I feel like that's super important. And I feel like it helps your relationship out a lot, because then you know that it's real. It's not just, what can you do for me? What can I do for you? It's what we bring together, and it makes us like, it connects you on a deeper level. It really does. And so I feel like that personally was something that helped me to get the perfect husband, because, you know, I was just upfront with him. Look, you know, I've been saving myself, this is what I want to do. And he was like, okay, that's awesome. And so I feel like I did meet some men prior that were not okay with that. And so I was like, see ya, because you have to stay true to yourself, respect yourself, love yourself. I knew what I wanted. I knew what I was not going to stand for. And you have to be okay with being by yourself until you get the guy that is meant for you. And I feel like it's like, you know, you create somewhat of like an unbreakable bond, because it's like, oh my God, this person and myself, we are like, we literally know everything about each other and we're completely in love. It's like, think about, evaluate your relationship and ask yourself, if we were to remove this or if we were to remove that, will we still be as strong as we are right now? And that, I think, is a good way to kind of weed out, you know, guys who may not be with you for the right intentions. You know, you can just kind of say, if I tell him right now that I'm gonna, from this point out, save myself until, you know, he decides to marry me, if marriage is something that you desire. But if you tell yourself that and you go to him and he's not okay with it, you know, you kind of, I would evaluate my relationship at that point and make sure that we're both, you know, in it for the right reason. Take a look at your friend zone. So you guys, your husband might be sitting right there in your friend zone and you never know it. So my husband and I were friends first before we were anything. There was zero intention whatsoever of us dating or being romantically involved. Well, at least on my end. My husband said he always had a crush on me, but you know, it was just kind of like we were friends and we would talk and laugh and we worked together, and it was just that type of environment. And when he asked me out, it was like I was familiar with him, I knew him, I had, you know, spoken with him, and so it made things easier. So don't be so quick to, you know, like banish guys to the friend zone, because you never know. Like, take a long hard look at your friend zone after you've evaluated yourself and what you want, and pay attention, because there might be a guy there that's like just dying for you to notice him, and you guys may end up married like my husband and myself. So take a look at that friend zone, ladies. I'm telling you, know what you are and are not willing to compromise on. So don't go into a relationship changing everything about you just so that you can be in a relationship. That is like a big red flag for me. I always went into my relationships knowing exactly what I would and would not compromise on. And you know, some people may say, oh, well, you're picky, or you know, you're high, what do they call it, high maintenance, or you're problematic, you know. But don't let anybody make you feel bad for standing up for yourself and what you want and what you know that you want for yourself. There is nothing at all wrong with that, period. No matter what anybody tells you, there's nothing wrong with that, okay? When I was considering the guy that I wanted to marry, I asked myself, okay, am I 100% comfortable around this guy? Like, do I feel like I have to put on an act at any time? Do I feel like he's judging me for being myself? You know, things that might seem like little petty things, but in the long run, like, that could have been a controlling type situation, you know. But you just kind of have to look and evaluate the red flags. I don't want to like make myself get into this little box just so that I can make a man happy, and it may not even be the man that I'm happy with in the long run. Because as we get further and further into our relationship, the next thing I know, I'm married to him and we have a couple kids, and I'm not in love because, you know, he tells me everything that he wants me to do and I'm not myself, and it's just avoid it. So cut that out in the beginning and make sure that you are with the guy that you are 100% comfortable with. So the things that I have told you, this is my truth. I have not advised on anything that I did not do myself. You know, I've been with my husband we've dated for quite a while before we ended up getting married, because I wanted to take my time and make sure that this was the man that I wanted to marry. And even after we got engaged, we took our time and we still continued to learn more about one another, and we really just enjoyed, you know, being engaged. And now that we're married, we've been married for a year now, we've really enjoyed like the newlywed phase. And so you just want to make sure that you get with somebody where you're going to be able to enjoy your milestones and things like that, where you won't have to worry about all of the excess stress. Love yourself first. Respect yourself. Make him wait. If he doesn't want to wait and he leaves you, that's okay. You'd rather him leave now than like what, down the line when you've really fallen in love with him and you're like madly, deeply in love, and he just dumps you like that. Go ahead and let him go, girl. Let him go. who cares? There will be tons of other guys. Don't get so wrapped up in thinking, I need a boyfriend, I need a boyfriend, I need a boyfriend right now, because it just may not be that you have to make sure that everything happens the way it's supposed to happen, and you don't want to be like missing your blessing or the perfect man for you because you can't wait. Patience is important. I was very patient when meeting my husband. I was not rushing. You know, I had dated other guys prior, but I stayed true to like my values and what I wanted. And so when I met my husband, I was able to give him that gift. So, you know, it's very important that you, above all, make sure that you are not settling. Do not settle. Know your worth. I cannot stress that enough. Do not settle for just anything just for the sake of saying that you have a boyfriend or you have a husband, especially if you're not going to be happy. Like I said, I know that no one is perfect, and I know that now in today's world, it's like people are so used to bad relationships that, you know, oftentimes they will see something that's real, and because they're not used to seeing it, they kind of, it's like odd to them, so they kind of feel like, oh well, this has to be a put on, or this has to be fake. Like, that's not true. True love does still exist, you guys. I am living proof. I tell you, I promise you, true love exists. Do not give up. Do not feel like, well, you know, true love doesn't exist, so I may as well get as close as I can get. Don't do it. You deserve the best. Be what you want to attract. That's super important. I can't stress that enough. I knew that I wanted a nice Christian man who was strong in his faith. I was living the same life myself, so I was able to attract that kind of man to me because it's what I was putting out. So you put out, you get back what you put into it, right? Just like with everything and with relationships. If you're putting out trust, if you're putting out loyalty, honesty, if you're putting out faithfulness, then all of those things should come back to you in your partner. And if it's not, then you are not with the right partner. And like I said, I know that everything is not perfect, everyone is not perfect, but I do believe in having the perfect person for you. So these are just some of the things that I did when I was meeting my husband that I feel like really worked for me. I really, no matter what, like, I have like a soft spot in my heart for those women like me who are saving themselves for marriage. And, you know, lately I've been running into a lot of women who are just like, you know, will I ever meet a guy? Like, there's no good guys left and stuff like that. And that is not true. There are good guys left. They're looking for you just like you're looking for them, but you just have to let the process work. You have to let them find you. I'm kind of old school, so I've always been more of like, the man pursues the woman. I know that some women do like to pursue the man. Again, I'm not bashing that. That's just not personally what I did. You know, I just felt that when the time was right, when it was time for me to have a husband, God would bless me with the perfect husband for me, and he has. Thank you, Jesus. But, you know, these are just my personal opinions, and I hope that this has helped someone. You know, anybody who has any further questions or anything, you know, that you may feel like is too personal that you want to ask me, if you don't want to drop it down below, then you can send it to the email address and I will check it. You can just like title it For Sierra or something like that so that I will open it. But yeah, you know, just keep the faith, stay strong, and continue being true to yourself. The perfect man is out there and he will find you.